Out of there, folks, it's Geist, and today we're going to be talking about a rework that was recently done to Oathkeepers. They still have all their original functionality of infinite hold and infinite damage perks like Le Monarch and stuff, but they added a perk that you gain bonus to the bow's damage when released based on how long the bow charge was held. Now, what they don't mention is that this eventually will fall off. So the way that it works is when you come to full draw on a bow, you're going to see a little blue meter on the left. In about 2 seconds worth of time, that blue meter is going to max out, indicating that you are at the maximum damage bonus, and then you have it for 2 additional seconds after that to use it. So 2 seconds to charge up to the max, and then 2 seconds to fire it before it drops off completely. Now, without using Oathkeeper, we're using Wishender here for an example, it deals about 32,728 damage. And with the perk maxed out, Wishender is now dealing 48,000 damage, almost 49,000. That's about 150% damage increase, or around 2.5 times damage. However, unfortunately that only affects the base damage. It does not affect the broadahead damage from Wishender. It doesn't affect the poison on Le Monarch, and it doesn't affect the explosions on Tikus, the seeking arrows on Hierarchy of Needs. It doesn't affect any of the special perks on exotic bows. So, in reality, it's more like a 50% damage increase or 1.5 times damage overall, just because it doesn't affect any of those. Now, that's only on exotic bows. On a legendary bow, it is still going to be about 150% damage boost. But unfortunately, on a legendary bow, that doesn't really do so much. A lot of these exotic bows are capable of putting out a lot more damage, as you're going to see here from some of these tests. I'm going to show you a few DPS phases here. Now, that one that I just showed, that was me using Wishender with Oathkeepers and trying to get the full charge off. So what I would do is let the bar max out and then immediately try to fire it as soon as the bar was at max and try to waste as little time as possible. Then I tried the other end of the spectrum, which is what you're seeing right here. I took the bow and I tried to time it so that it was right around 1 bar or 1/4 filled as far as the damage buff was concerned. And as you're about to see here, it really didn't make a huge difference. It's about 277,000, so there's not a huge discrepancy there. Now, it could have been timing on my part, but realistically, not a big enough difference to worry about. Now, here is going to be a quick little damage phase where I'm using Wishender on just a Warlock with Ophidians. The reason that I'm doing that is just to show you what happens if you just use regular old Wishender and just don't hold back. Try to fire it as quickly as you can. And in some cases here, I didn't even really fully draw it. I'm getting it either just fully drawn or just under fully drawn. And just trying to loose out as many arrows as I possibly can. And as you can see here, it's not even close. Wishenders with no Oathkeeper on something like a Warlock who's able to make it reload a little bit faster deals almost 500,000 damage, almost double what the others are dealing. Here is just a quick little example of me using Le Monarch 2, just so that you can see another, and once again, I did not use Oathkeepers, just like I did with Wishender there. And we did 331,000 damage. So, not as good as Wishender, which, as we know, Wishender deals better DPS than Le Monarch does, but still better than Wishender if it tries to use Oathkeepers. Now, what this means is that Oathkeeper is tanking Wishender's damage so badly that it's weaker than Le Monarch, where typically it would be stronger than Le Monarch. Now, I did test this bow with several others. Of course, I tried Tikus and I tried Hierarchy of Needs. Hierarchy of Needs is still not as good as Wishender, but better than the rest of them. However, the perk was really inconsistent to proc, and I don't even recommend that you attempt that anyways. And honestly, I don't recommend that you try to DPS with a bow, period. I was hoping that Oathkeeper would kind of maybe be a change to that it's possible that similar to Lucky Pants and things like Malfeasance, you would be able to do some DPS with a primary, but it's just not really that feasible. And it doesn't really help much with champions either, because it doesn't particularly, it makes your DPS lower to try to proc the perk. So unless Bungie does something along the lines of dramatically boosting up the damage here or making it happen faster, honestly, they would have to make the damage pretty much be granted to you instantly or much quicker to even be worth using. Because as it is right now, it takes you 3 times longer to let out an arrow, but even at max on a legendary bow, you're only getting 2.5 times more damage. So the math is there. Oathkeepers lowers your DPS. I hope you folks found this info helpful. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.